Thank you. Grazie. Thank you very much.
Congrats, Novak. A record time 6th title at this tournament, and you're also the first player to win this event in 3 different decades. How does it feel to finish the season on such a high?
It feels deeply satisfying and at the same time huge relief because of the circumstances that I have been through this year and situations earlier this year, of course, with Australia. We don't need to go back. We know what happened, and that had an effect on, obviously, on my start of the year. For the first several months, I was, trying to find that balance game-wise, but also mentally, in order to be able to come back to the court and find that tennis level that I need. And that has started to happen actually in Italy also, which is no coincidence, in Rome, where I won the big tournament, and start to really feel more comfortable playing tennis, being on the court. Wimbledon title was extremely, of course, important at that point in time. After Wimbledon, I lost only Paris-Bercy, basically, finals, and all the other tournaments I won. I had an amazing finish of the season with, most of the tournaments I played indoors I won, and indoors has been historically very successful for me. So, playing in Italy, in a country where I love to play and I have really special connection with people, makes this trophy and this win even more special.
Hi Novak, Sam Jacko from the ATP. Congratulations on winning the title tonight.
Thank you.
I know you've had your family here all week. How special was it to share that moment post-match with your wife and your children, of course?
Extremely special for me, and I'm very grateful to my wife and my children for coming. I don't get to have these moments on the tour with them so much, so I, of course, try to enjoy it as much as I possibly can. I took both of my children, particularly my son, a lot to the tennis training sessions, warm-ups, matches. He was very loud, I must say. I was very surprised. I could hear his voice the entire time, and he was very much into it. They both are now aware of what's going on, what the father is doing, and of course they make my tour on the life on the tour easier. The pressures, the expectations, the tensions that you normally go through on big tournaments like this, when they're around, it lowers a bit. So, I can have that time off and quality time with my family that really soothes me and gives me serenity that I need in order to recalibrate and play my best tennis the next day. It was funny because the other day I had a conversation with my wife, and it's great to have them around, but she was like, this is too stressful. She's been with me for almost 20 years of my professional career, and it's a lot that she has to do with children around and entertain them, and at the same time be there for me. So I don't know how many tournaments more I'm gonna get this opportunity to have them all. So I cherish these moments a lot, and hopefully as they grow older, they'll realize even more, what special moments we're living together.
Yeah, Matt Futterman from the New York Times. Your daughter is, I hate to break it to you, more into the coloring book than she is your tennis match.
I love it. I love it. Yeah,
it's very fun. It's very funny to watch.
Yeah.
But tennis is not a simple sport in terms of, it's not like football where there's Champions League, a champion. Lots of different numbers involved. Do you think you're the best player in the world?
I'm not. I'm fifth, This week I probably am, but overall the rankings are showing, you know, who had the best year, and Alcaraz is the #1 in the world, so there's not much to say about that. But in my mind, I always see myself as the best player in the world, of course. I have that kind of mentality and that kind of approach, regardless of who is across the net, regardless of what the surface is, regardless of what season it is, what number of the professional season in my career we're facing. I mean, it's always the same. The ambitions are the highest possible. And that kind of approach, I feel it, you know, brought me to where I am sitting here today as a 35-year-old and holding one of the best trophies, biggest trophies in sport. So I don't feel like there's any stopping happening or thoughts about letting the tennis career go for some time now. I mean, I feel motivated and I feel good in my own body. I take care of myself and, of course, great team of people. So as long as there's flair happening inside of me, you know, of course, it all starts with emotions and I think how you mentally approach or what is your observation or perspective of tennis, of the sport that you do. So for me, that's love and passion, really. As long as that's there, I'll do anything in my power to challenge the young guys and for the biggest trophies.
Hi Novak, Mateusz Grabarczyk, Tennis Club Poland. Congratulations once more. This is your 6th title, ATP Finals, and first after 7 years. Could you tell which one was the hardest to win and why?
Well, it's been a while since the last trophy, 7 years, as you mentioned. So I have a pretty good memory with my matches and all the things that I've achieved on the court, but I maybe can't recall exactly which win of this trophy and the tournament was the toughest one. I think each victory is unique and particular in its own way. I think the first win in 2008 against Davydenko in Shanghai, you know, the first one is always the most special one, of course. So I probably would pick that one.
Hi Novak, Simone Terno, Eurosport.it. I know that you became a wine producer. So we're in Italy, one of the most famous regions in the world, Piedmont, for wine. To which wine you would compare that trophy?
You have to speak with my uncle because it's him that is doing this wine business. I'm not involved at all. I don't drink alcohol. I do drink a glass of wine here and there, red one. I know about the Italian wine, of course. It's one of the best in the world. So there's not much more I can say about it. I just wish my uncle best of luck. I'm there to support him in any way I possibly can, and keeping away that wine bottle from me.
Novak, Craig Gabriel, 9 Australia. I preface this by saying I'm not trying to retire you, but what is the end goal for you? What is the overall vision that you want to achieve most of all? I'm not going to ask you about the money. We've been through that aspect. But have you thought of something like that?
There is no end zone, as they call it in American football. I don't feel I have thoughts or ideas about how I want to end my career in terms of when I want to end it, if that's an answer for you. Because if I had something on my mind, I would share it with you, and then I would say, okay, this is what I'm navigating towards, and when I do that, I'll leave the racket. But I don't have that. For me, it's about, first of all, having good emotions and positive feelings on the court, practice court. Because, you know, one thing is to win big trophies, and and everything is super nice. It's a fairy tale, but you got to go through hardship, a lot of hardship, and a lot of difficult days and challenging tasks on a daily basis in order to push yourself, motivate yourself, work on yourself in order to get to this level and then eventually have a chance to win. So I enjoy the process on day-to-day basis. I really do. I play with my son. I play with professionals. I play with juniors. I watch tennis. It's passion and obsession in a way. It's just it's such an integral part of my life, of who I am, and it just fulfills me, whether I'm on the court or watching someone else play. So I'm a true fan of the game, if you want to define it that way. That's, for me, the most important thing. If that's something that is fading away, or I'm not feeling that passion or love for the game as much in terms of competition, because I feel like the love for the tennis will never fade away. It will always stay there. So I will always stay in tennis, in whatever shape or form or role. But competition is something different. Professional, competitive career requires a lot of sacrifice, you know, with family and all the other things in life. And for that, you know, it's necessary to have the support of the close ones, to have the right balance, to figure out optimally what works the best so that you can still continue playing tennis. So right now, things are functioning well on that end for me, but you never know what's going to happen. My kids are 8 and 5, they're growing older, they'll have different interests, maybe they'll have a different requirements or demands from me, and I have to think about them, you know, and you know, if I have to spend more time with them or support them in their lives and maybe less with tennis, I mean, that's going to happen. So I don't know what the future holds, but I know that what I hold in my mind is a huge hunger still to win trophies, make history of this sport, compete on the highest level all around the world, bring good emotions to sports fans, tennis fans. That's what drives me a lot. So I have a lot of different motivational factors, and I don't lack any motivation for the moment. You know, of course, we all have bad days or bad weeks, but generally the fuel is still there.
Last two in English.
Hi, Novak. Lucille, l'équipe. Lucille Allard, l'équipe. Considering this season where you couldn't play all the tournaments, and when you see all the young guys who are coming, how hungry are you? More than ever, or?
I haven't not eaten after the match, so right now I'm very hungry. But joking aside, of course, I am. As I mentioned before, motivation is fully present. I'm very hungry to prove that I'm still one of the best players in the world, that I can win big trophies. So, see you in Australia.
Well, first of all, congratulations. Ubaldo Scanagato, ubitennis.com, ubitennis.es, ubitennis.net.
I know you very well, yes.
Okay. I'd like to know, first of all, I had the impression that this tournament, you won all the matches, but you were not playing physically at your best, and still you were capable to fight until the last second, last minute, recover from the back, recover break point, break game, and so on. So you told us about all the motivation, but when you're not feeling well, what pushes you harder and harder, since you have already proved everything to everybody?
Well, I wouldn't agree that all the matches I physically struggled. I mean, the first two matches were great. I mean, I had straight set wins against Tsitsipas and Rublev. Then I did struggle in match with Medvedev. This was the toughest match of the week for me, no doubt. And then, you know, it was not easy to recover and to really be able to play well in the semis on less than 24 hours. After that match against Thriller against Medvedev. But what can I say? I have a great physio. I have a great team. I have routines that work for me very well, I feel like, in terms of recovery. And I think most of all, it's what you tell to yourself. You know, we talked about, I think someone asked me of you, I mean, after the Medvedev thriller, you know, where's the limit? You know, I really feel that limit oftentimes exists only in your mind and your perspective. And so it's an internal battle with myself, because there's, you know, one voice that is always telling you, you can't do it, you're too tired, this and that, right? The bad guy and the good guy. And so you try to feed the good guy so he can become louder and stronger than the bad guy. It's as simple as that, you know. Much easier to say it than to actually do it, because in those moments where you have pain, where you have this or that, or you don't feel like maybe standing up in the morning or whatever it is, you just there has to be something, whatever it is for all of us, that gets us up from the bed and pushes us. And yeah, it's the heart, it's the mind, it's whatever the life force or the fuel that is for you, you know. And you know, for me, it's still the hunger that someone asked me about. It's love for the game, no doubt, passion. I love the game. I said it already. And of course, you know, making history of the tennis sport, which of course is my favorite sport, and sport that has given me so much privileges in life and benefits. So why not try it? Why not dream about it? You know, I have no problem to verbalize that I have biggest goals, that I want to be the best, that I want to win every tournament. I don't think that's not humble. I just feel it's important to respect everyone in the game, but still be confident with yourself. I don't see anything bad in that.